Yeah, it's been an eventful week in the food and nutrition national news. It's entertaining as hell. I watched a few more videos early this morning um, on Fox News, had some replays. They're on YouTube. And they interviewed people like Jillian Michaels. And at least the ones I saw this morning showed people who were so excited about it. And if you were at the live stream last night, you know that I think nothing's going to change. There are some good things. It'd be interesting to see what they do with them. I think the best chance of this thing actually doing some good, and again, the jury's still out. I need to see the results, is from the simple fact that the national food guidelines supposed to direct what they feed the military, the school kids, what they feed in hospitals. And not that I want to go back to the hospital to find out if they did any good, but when I look back at my hospital visit from my stroke, the food choices and the food advice and nutrition advice was deadly and horrendous. I don't know how they're going to re-educate all the nutritionists and dietitians, because a single one least informed individual that came and spoke to me in the hospital was the dietitian. Had absolutely clueless about what was healthy eating or not, and even had the balls to lecture me about the fact that I told her that I eat mostly meat. And this is not even a doctor. This is just some misinformed dietitian. Now, it's not her fault. She went to dietitian school. They taught her a curriculum that was stupid and destructive. And to make sure she knew it, they gave her a test and certified her as being stupid and destructive and parroting all the crap that been doing all the damage. So you can't blame her, I guess. But the problem with these people is that they're not open. They don't use their eyes. They don't recognize patterns. They don't wonder and have no curiosity as to why aren't we getting skinny and healthy following all this advice for the past 60 or 70 years. Nobody, somehow it all slipped by silently. At any rate, it is a topic that we'll probably be hearing a lot more about. I think it has some good points. I'm going to summarize just real quick. I don't want to talk about it all day, but it does have some good points. Unfortunately, the media is doing their thing. They're doing the bidding of the food and drug companies, the source of all the revenue, their biggest sponsors. And on all the news shows, on all the major networks, the message that we're getting from these phony TV doctors is that we shouldn't be eating saturated fat, even though the government says it's okay now. And that's what they talk about. I noticed this morning that they still recommend, this is the bad news, 2 to 4 servings of whole grains a day. They have not stopped recommending all of the plant-based foods. There's no warnings in there about stop eating spinach smoothies or anything that really is causing problems. So we basically have a recommended diet now. This is a summary of it. And it's not as if anybody in the general public is going to even notice, because they don't pay attention to this stuff. Kind of like most of us don't pay attention to the sport of squash. Now, I'm sure if you're a squash fan, you're up on all the intricacies of the game. You know all the players. You know their stats. You know the teams. You live squash. Squash is your life. But to the other 99.9% of the people in this world who could give a shit about squash, most of whom don't even know what it is, if they change the rules of the game of squash, it wouldn't matter to you. You wouldn't know about it. And that's pretty much how the American public treats the diet advice. It's not diet advice. It has nothing to do with the food pyramid. It is now our culture. We've been doing this so long, this is ingrained in us, and changing the recommendations is about as useful as making documentaries about carnivore and expecting theaters that cater to the average American public to pay money to exhibit those things. So unless they align with the culture, like all the documentaries extolling the virtues of healthy foods and fruits and vegetables, our meat-based documentaries never get out of the church and are seen only by the choir in most cases, like the squash videos, which there probably are a few. So in that respect, I don't see much change coming, except there's a chance that if the current sentiment in Washington about eating healthier doesn't get thrown out in 2008 and the other side gets in and they reappoint all of those people that we now have in the FDA who do advocate for healthy eating the right way, they did the best they could this time. Likelihood is they're going to be gone in 3 years. So unless in the next 3 years we can actually integrate this into the hospitals and the schools and the military, now it'll be gone. And the commercial interests certainly will not have gone away. And it's going to be business as usual. It's going to be interesting over the next couple of years to check the packaging into the aisles of Sam's Club and see how much more new deception and propaganda in labeling, how many pretty new logos they have telling us that their product conforms, is now officially healthy according to the U.S. government. And they'll slap it all over the packages. They'll put it in their advertisements. I'll believe it when I see it. And I hate to be that much of a pessimist, but I am a realist. So I'm not a pessimist. I am hopeful, but I'm disappointed. That's my take on it. I wish I could get excited. I wish I could get excited. I watched RFK's speech yesterday, and I talked about that last night, and I'll briefly mention that. His entire speech laid out all the problems, how much money we're spending, the epidemic levels of chronic diseases, and they're very aware of the problems. And they talked about the new food pyramid, the new recommendations. They didn't talk about eating more meat. They did not. So the things that really needed to be said, the things that are important to us, eating a high fat, that's the key to the success of carnivore, is high fat. Without a high fat carnivore diet, You're going to get protein poisoning if you don't eat carbs. Nobody can eat 100% of their nutrition of only protein. It'll wreck you. You need a high-fat diet. It's the fat that has the nutrition. It's the fat that triggers satiety. None of that was mentioned or even included in the recommendations. There's no minimum daily amount of fat, but they do still have recommended amounts of servings of all the other stuff. The one message that seems to be getting out is this food pyramid tells us we're not getting enough protein. Well, where does it tell us that? Because it now doesn't demonize meat. So it doesn't promote meat. It doesn't promote fat. The basic change is it demonizes them less. But in no way, shape, or form has this thing a chance of changing the American mindset that meat causes heart attacks and fat makes you fat. And calories are important, and you got to exercise until you drop. Nothing has changed. The politics behind this new food pyramid are very understandable and would take hours to discuss, and nobody probably cares. But at least they're making an attempt. And I think those that really wanted to fix things are probably very frustrated that they couldn't take it any further than the small improvement that they were able to do. So that's my little monologue on the new food pyramid. Prove me wrong. God, I would love to be wrong. Are you kidding me? I'd love to be wrong.